Welcome, everyone. My name is Anna Hensel. I'm a reporter with Modern Retail, and today we have a Zoom talk on the future of brick and mortar retail with Catherine Pike of Vuori. So excited to have you, Catherine. So before we get into the talk, a little bit of overview of what we're doing here. So Modern Retail. I don't know who was on the call last week, but we are hosting weekly Zoom talks just on a rotating basis of what is very top of mind for people in retail right now. Our goal is just to keep our audience connected and as informed as possible about how to navigate these very challenging business topics. And so we really want to have talks that are top of mind and really address the things that you are grappling with right now most in your business. So if you have any suggestions on things you would like to see us talk about in future talks, feel free to email me at anna@modernretail.co. And then for our upcoming ones, I want to plug those. So next week we have one on the investing landscape, and then the following week we have one on the future of grocery delivery with the president of Wink, which should be very exciting. And then obviously this one is about the future of brick and mortar retail. So I just kind of wanted to set the stage a little bit before I kick it off to Catherine. So what I have been talking about with a lot of executives the past few weeks is just, so before the coronavirus outbreak, a lot of direct to consumer brands really wanted to expand their brick and mortar operations this year because it was a very profitable sales channel for them, allowed them to reach customers they weren't able to reach online. And so now obviously those plans have been on hold. No one knows for sure when stores will reopen again. They will reopen again, but startups do need a best and worst case scenario. And then also when stores reopen, a lot of companies aren't expecting that shoppers will behave the same way as maybe they did before the coronavirus outbreak. And so you may have people who are hesitant to visit stores, but I think the good news is that it provides opportunity for a lot of innovation. Startups can offer new services in store that maybe they hadn't before. And so I think there's lots of opportunity for innovation here. So with that in mind, I'm going to kick it off to Catherine about how Vuori is thinking about their brick and mortar business at this time.
Great. Okay, let me share my screen and we'll get going. Am I all set?
I don't think we see your screen right now.
I don't see my screen.
I think there might just be a little bit of a lag. There we go.
Do we have it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you again for having me today. I'm so passionate about this topic and really excited to talk to you guys all about the future of brick and mortar retail and sharing my perspective on what we're doing now at Vuori to ensure that we're prepared for success when we do reopen our stores. Uncertainty is a word that I know we're all hearing and using constantly right now. And although none of us have the answers as to what is happening or what is concretely going to happen in the future, our plan and what I'm really focused on is looking at the gift of uncertainty, which is possibility. So being clear that brick and mortar can thrive in the future if we stay oriented toward what is possible using agility and innovation. Let's see. Okay, so a little bit more about Vuori to set the stage where I'm coming from and the examples that I'm going to share. Vuori was founded in 2015 with a goal of giving a new perspective on performance apparel. So our men's and women's product is available through e-commerce, through wholesale channels, and in our 5 brick and mortar stores. Our brand and product positioning is unique because we're able to live equally in distribution touch points. We have fitness, we're in Equinox, outdoor and adventure, which is REI. We have the surf industry, we have product at San Diego, and also fashion with one of our biggest accounts being Nordstrom. The community really inspires everything that Vuori designs and all of our event activations and the organizations we support. And we're really not defined by one activity, but rather the versatile lifestyle that supports healthy and conscious living. You'll hear us talk a lot about investment in happiness, which is what inspires most of our marketing initiatives. And we're constantly trying to find new ways to connect with customers, to surprise and delight them, and basically innovate and inspire. Right now, our founder is hosting conversations online with some really inspirational humans, including Steve Nash and Jason Mraz, getting their perspective on what it means to them to stay healthy and resilient through this tough time that we're all in. As you guys can imagine, our wholesale channel has been impacted, and the closing of our stores for this length of time has been really difficult. But our e-commerce business is thriving. We're up 350% year over year. And so we're really looking at that channel to help us inform our strategy for reopening. So e-commerce data right now is holding clues to trends that are happening that are going to be really important to our customers when we are able to reopen our brick and mortar stores. Our team has had to be very nimble in changing messaging and focus on product that is currently resonating to customers right now. So we're paying close attention to how the customer is experiencing that new product and that different product online, and what their shopping experience has been, both the highlights and the challenges, because both of those things are going to hold clues to the work that we need to be doing and preparing for in stores. So here's a list of kind of the benefits or the highlights that we're really seeing from the customer perspective that are being discovered by those who are new to shopping online with us, or reinforced for our normal e-commerce returning customers. As you can imagine, the efficient purchasing, eliminating the travel time and costs, the ability to easily slide in a purchase into a work from home day is possibly a little easier now than it was when you were at a desk in an office. Seeing purchases come in at very different times because of being open all day and everyone's schedules changing. We're also paying close attention to what's happening with comparison shopping. So it's only a quick click away to a competitor's website to compared to brick and mortar. And we're really seeing customers using online reviews to help inform their purchase decisions, and replacing those questions they would be asking store associates and other friends shopping with them with the reviews from other people online. There's also just such an abundance of information available on e-commerce. Even our best store associates are only going to get a fraction of that information as they're sharing about our products. So we're asking ourselves, what can we learn about the information that's most valuable online, and how does that apply to what we want to train our associates to share in person? Right now, we're also seeing a lot of people, not people who have toddlers like I do, but a lot of people having an abundance of time. So it's really unique that people right now have this downtime and they are spending it online. So we're getting many more views and just a different interaction with how much time they're spending behind screens. We're also seeing people make more requests to customer service, ask questions, write reviews, just a much higher volume of engagement than before, likely because of that change in how their time is spent and the time that they have. Finally, a benefit to e-commerce is we are able to really watch the emerging trends that are coming out. Obviously, working from home, as we're all doing right now, but also work out from home. These are situational, but there is a shift here that could impact long-term purchase patterns as people are seeing athleisure in a new light and as a new category to fulfill those trends. We're also really paying attention to the disadvantages and the challenges that have come up through e-commerce for our customers, because it helps us ground in what they are missing and that they're really going to be looking for in store when we reopen. So a couple of the key things that we're seeing, immediate gratification is something that you don't get online. Even though the ordering part is really easy, the waiting is hard. And many companies right now, having limited operations, are also seeing delays in processing and delivery, which is making it a longer wait than usual for customers to receive what they've purchased. The other one is a big one is the ability to test the product, to touch it, to feel it. We see new customers especially ordering multiple sizes in sized items because they really just can't be sure without trying. And so this adds a lot of time and money in ordering and returning incorrect sizes later. We also, a lot of our product stands out because of the hand feel and the softness. And that's just so much harder to convey online than it is in an in-person experience. And then finally, probably the biggest is that personal touch and human connection that we're all missing. We're missing the interaction, and not just with, our closest friends and family, but also with strangers that we're used to having multiple interactions with all day. I talked the poor grocery store cashier's ear off the other day just because I was so excited to have someone I could talk to that wasn't my immediate family face to face. And even if your e-commerce site offers that live chat function while you're purchasing, it's just still not the same as a conversation you would have with a sales associate at a store. So we're looking at what's happening with e-commerce now as holding valuable information for our brick and mortar strategy moving forward. When we can amplify what people have missed about brick and mortar, but then also innovate and adapt to what they're finding they're loving about e-commerce, our goal is that we can use those to reopen in a way that's going to provide a new type of experience for customers that's actually matching the current reality rather than just doing the same things we were doing before we closed. Let's see, why are we not moving forward? Sorry, hold tight. There we go. Okay. So as I mentioned, right now we're focusing on amplifying what people have missed. So although it's likely going to be very different, it can actually become better than ever. One thing before I start sharing examples that's worth noting, my examples do include that work that is being done currently with store associates, because we have been able to retain all of our retail associates and fill their time with trainings, cross-departmental project work, and actually redeployment in other departments like customer service and marketing. But it could be the same. It's in case of the furloughed store associates, the focus here can still remain on preparing these trainings and offering the operation that can be executed when the associates do return, as we know when those reopen dates and we start training again. So amplifying, we're first starting on that human connection. People are missing it. People are craving it. How can we approach how we connect in the new way after we reopen? Starting most importantly with our sales associates, it's never been more important to have the right people representing the brand, because that first experience back in the store really needs to be great. So any amount of time and effort you can put into making those associates feel so confident and so proud of what they're going to be doing for the brand on those first days when we're first open and those first experiences back is so critical right now, because it really will make the difference in whether they choose to return. I think customers are craving the normalcy of connecting. And so really working with those associates about how to create the vibe of welcoming and a safe and a positive environment is going to be a huge part of what convinces customers that they're safe there and that it's going to be a place that they're going to want to continue to return to. All of this, we acknowledge that there are going to be a lot of new challenges in our way. It's very likely that we will open with masks, or there will be some sort of distancing involved. So now is the time to be focused on how to get store associates comfortable with how to bring that same level of service, but having these barriers in place and these things that they're not used to working with. It's worth noting the importance of being nimble those first few days back in store and spending the time on the floor, experiencing what's happening, listening to the associates, and gathering information about what is working and what's not working, knowing that there's likely going to be some updated training and strategy needed in those first few days that we're going to learn as we go. The next topic that I think is worth focusing on is customization. So when you think about what you can get in store that you can't always get online, it's those in-person experiences that give the opportunity to customize. You can customize product, or you can customize what you're offering for individual people. Um, Having that unique way of customizing product especially might drive traffic into a store and help build local community, especially if it's something that's offered only in store and not online. And then experiences would give an opportunity to customize, potentially personal shopping appointments, private group shopping. There's a lot of different ways to listen to what customers are needing and asking for during the reopen period and customize accordingly. We're currently doing ongoing brainstorming sessions and have projects in the work, engaging associates to think creatively about how offering customization can create value for returning to stores. We also are noting that what's happened in each community has really been different, and there's a lot of opportunities to connect with organizations and efforts in local communities to give back and support different initiatives in different stores in different ways. The final piece of touch and try would be, or the final piece of amplification would be the touch and try. So customers are going to be coming back in craving that tactile sensory experience that we've lacked as we've been behind screens and unable to reach out and feel what we're buying. So asking how can the store experience amplify the ability for customers to feel safe while also getting back into that touch and try mode. There's a lot of information out there about what we can expect with safety and ensuring that touch and try nature of brick and mortar is safe for both employees and customers. And now is really the time to make sure the stores reopen with a really clear plan about how to make sure that customer feels safe handling the product, your associates as well. Important to note that social cues are probably going to play a big part of this. So having associates lead the way by encouraging customers to get back into fit rooms, to get back into touching product, to testing it and feeling comfortable doing that again, will set the tone for what the store feels like. So amplifying what customers have missed is definitely one important piece of our reopening strategy. And then the second is all about innovation and adaptation. So many customers we talked about in the beginning have really discovered the efficiency and ease of online shopping, which gives us the opportunity to look at how we can innovate our in-store experiences to bring what is working well about e-commerce into brick and mortar in new ways. The first and most obvious place for innovation is efficiency. Omni-channel experience has been rapidly developing, and I suspect that post the corona shutdowns, the importance of this is likely going to explode. Customers have now experienced the best of both worlds. They want to be able to order easily and quickly behind their computer screens or their phone screens, but also have the quick pickup made available at a nearby store so they can get that product faster than they would if they were waiting for a delivery. Right now, we're seeing businesses of all types putting together really creative solutions for order ahead and pickup, and the demand for this service is likely going to increase. So now is the time to be thinking about how, if you don't have it already, or there are things that you can innovate to escalate the ability to really have an omni-channel experience. The second part is safety. I mentioned it as a part of amplifying touch and try, but it's critical here to innovate because the messaging, has been that everything has been closed to keep us safe. So understandably, when we reopen, we're going to need to build confidence back in the safety of shopping in person. This is such an important topic, and there's so many really brilliant conversations going on right now. I'm listening in as much as possible to what is happening out there, discussions about masks versus face shields and what's advised and, how this is going to play out, because although no one has all the answers, being well versed in what all the opportunities are and having a plan in place for them is going to really benefit us, because the stores are going to, I think as much as it's important for everything to actually be safe, it's also important for the associates to put off the feeling that they feel safe as well, because that will inform how the customers are, feel right when they walk into the store. The last point here, it would be around shoppability. So it's a really great time to look at visual merchandising from the standpoint of how shoppable is the store. There are going to be customers who want more space and autonomy than ever before. And they're going to need to be able to find what they need and get it themselves comfortably, or else it's going to be a poor experience for them. So it's a really good time to look at visual merchandising strategies, signage, anything related to how a person could navigate the store unassisted, as the beginning number of customers who prefer this method, at least in the very beginning, is likely going to be higher than what we've had before. Times of change are really giving us an opportunity to test and try new things with a large degree of understanding from employees and customers that we don't know exactly what the right fit is, but we are willing to adapt and try new ways of working to meet this current reality. I truly believe there are going to be some huge advancements in brick and mortar experiences that come from this uncertainty, because we're actually given the opportunity to get out of our comfort zone and focus on what is possible. So that's what I have for you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, great. Yeah. Thanks for focusing on, like you said, I think this is an interesting time for companies to think about how to make brick and mortar even better when they reopen. So now we're going to move into the Q&A portion. So if you have a question, pop it in the Q&A box. While we wait for those to come in, I have a few questions myself. So can you give an example of a training or brainstorming session you've done with some of your store associates during this time? What things are you asking them to think about?
Yeah, I mean, some of the very first training and brainstorming sessions we did were based on just growing their confidence in the product level, in our product, and asking them, like, what do you want to know about our business, about our product, that will make you more confident coming back into the store. So just really beginning with up-leveling basic skill sets, I think, is the first place to start. But now that we've done that work, we're really in the brainstorming part of, I mentioned customization, but that's a huge one. We've actually done brainstorming sessions with individual stores to ask detailed questions about what is happening in their community. What are people passionate about? What are the requests that they've always gotten but have been unable to fulfill? What do they think would be really cool to see? Those kind of starter questions that just get them talking. And I think it is important to do store by store, because customization is going to look a little different. And, it's not always going to be possible to execute on all of it, but a lot of really good ideas are coming out from those sessions.
Right. And then what types of questions have you been getting through your e-commerce site right now? Any ones that you're getting a lot of that you don't typically normally get?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, a lot of the type of questions you would ask a store associate, like, how does this run compared to other brands that I've worn before? Like, should I size up? Should I size down? A lot of sizing based questions, obviously trying to get the right fit in the joggers and some of our most popular styles that everyone's finding right now. Getting questions about, the safe handling of product. I mean, some of those safety concerns are coming up in some questions, which makes sense. And then also just they want to know how they can get involved. Like, I think when people find a brand they love, we get questions also about, we're hosting online virtual workouts every morning that they can be part of, or listening to the Q&A series that we've been doing with industry leader, or with really cool humans that I mentioned as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now we have a few questions that came in from the audience. So the first one is, how does Vuori think about pop-ups or semi-permanent retail locations co-located with other brands? How did you think about that before, and then now after, while the coronavirus outbreak is going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think pop-ups are a beautiful way to go in and get a lot of valuable information you need about a market. And I think that is going to remain true in the future. But I think we're also going to see pop-ups just as we're navigating changes we didn't even know were coming. So we used to use pop-ups as a strategy when it was a new market, or we needed to be sure about our real estate choice. I think now we'll see pop-ups be used for those same reasons, but also because we're just not sure what the current climate is going to look like, and we want to just test things in a more temporary way. I think I am seeing a lot of really cool opportunities to co-locate as well. So I'm pleased to see that there are multiple different ways for emerging brands to get out there, get the product out there, and dip their toes into brick and mortar without the long-term leases.
Right. And then the next question is, are you worried about any backlash against athleisure once people have reason to dress up again?
I mean, it's a good question. I don't think I would ever phrase it as backlash. I think there's definitely going to be a shift again as people are getting excited to get dressed up and everything. But I think what happens with athleisure is you realize that although you may not be wearing it every minute of the day like you are now, once you discover how versatile it is and how great it is, there's always room to add it into your wardrobe, because for people that are living this type of lifestyle, just become hooked on getting it on right at the end of the day or spending your weekends in it. And I also think that, what I'm hearing and seeing is that there may be more remote work than ever before after this. And so while most of us will hopefully be returning to offices and things will get back to normal, there could be a shift in the number of people who are working from home or more frequently working away from the office and doing so in their athleisure.
Right. And then next is a merchandising related question. Have you thought more about your store's floor plans and giving consumers more space in your stores? How might that impact sales per square foot?
Yeah, we have started to have a lot of discussions about floor plans. It starts really with, there's some conversation out there about having some sort of markers on the floor to depict the amount of space between lineups at cash wraps, lineups and fits, those sort of things. So I think it starts there. Haven't gotten so far as actually like truly planning on expanding the footprint for those reasons. But I think when you look at fixturing and the way you're merchandising, like the things that you can change within the boxes you already have is the place to start. And then for most of us that are planning on opening more stores, I think it's definitely going to be part of the conversation. But I would hope that we can do a lot of it through the way we use the spaces we have versus having to take on a lot more square footage.
Great. And then another question, given that the brick and mortar retail channel has been shut off, do you think DTC brands are maybe going to flock to channels that they maybe previously avoided, like Amazon?
It's less precious. Kale, I'm trying to think how I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. I think the Amazon question is, there's so much going on right now with conversations around that. Like I see such a spirit towards supporting the smaller brands and ordering from them. So I mean, it's not something that we're considering, or I think that it will happen, but yeah, I haven't been too cued into that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're pretty focused on brick and mortar. And I guess the last question I would have is how has this impacted your brick and mortar expansion plans for this year? Did you have any plans to open more stores that had to be put on hold?
Yeah, absolutely. We had 5 stores opening this year that are now currently on hold. That's a big question mark as well. And I think we're all just looking to see where this falls in terms of opportunities. It's not just, for the leases that we already have set, some of them have been delayed and things are happening there. But for those that we have not signed yet or that we're still looking at, I think we're just paying close attention to what opportunities come up and then making sure that we're just really clear on where we want to move forward and being strategic with what that opening strategy looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I lied. As soon as I said last question, more questions came in. So, um, Vuori has done a great job of in-store community building through events and workout classes over the years. And what do you think that will look like in the future?
I think it's just going to expand into whole new ways of connection. I think that, thank you. I think that Vuori has done such a great job of that community building, and we're seeing events and workout classes evolve through this time. So by being in really close connection and talking with and engaging with our customers, I think they're going to really help us shape what that looks like in the future. I know that what I've loved to see is the versatility of people who have joined our active club and who are really willing to do yoga one day and then try breath work the next day. And then, I think when we reopen and we're back out on the trails and in the surf and doing everything like that, it's really fun for Vuori to be the place where people experience new sports, new ways of being active. So our goal really is just to continue to offer opportunities that people are interested in, and to be that safe place for people to try new things and really enjoy the people that are around them.
Yeah. Okay. And then next question is, what markets are you interested in? The question does not preface what markets, but I'm assuming like for brick and mortar expansion.
Yeah, so we've been looking. We're currently all in California right now, and we have expansion plans further throughout California. And then we're looking into other key markets that are cities that have that like-minded athletic feel to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you again so much, Catherine. Actually, one more question. Sorry. Do you think this will cause a renegotiation of lease terms? Do you expect like percent off on rent deals, tenancy? Kind of what are you seeing from landlords right now?
We haven't been in a lot of conversations right now because we've been so focused on, just where we are right in this moment. But yes, I do think there will be some renegotiations of lease terms. And I think the future of the way that these deals will be put together will likely change. There's just so much happening with what's available and the terms of the deal structure. So yes, I expect we will see changes here, just like we're going to see changes in everything else. And it's going to be important to work with the experts to figure out what those opportunities look like, and how we can best set ourselves up to get stores in the right places with the right deal terms.
Right. And so do you have a date in mind where you anticipate maybe having deeper conversations with landlords? I know you said you're kind of focused on what's going on right now.
Yeah, I think our plan is really to focus on the first step, which is our current stores, like staying very present in the moment with the challenge that we have in front of us. And then while we're doing that, and also very much just starting to pay attention to what's happening out there. I think everyone is in that place of just listening, learning, watching what's happening. And then once stores start to reopen and we feel the confidence that we have that under our feet, we'll be able to then get back into paying attention to the next step.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Catherine. I appreciate you being up for talking about a topic where there's a lot of change going on right now. No one knows what's happening, but I think you had some good insights.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.